In the top stories, Chamber of Industry and Commerce offers suggestions to government to help revive the economy. Haiti quake death toll climbs close to 1,300, and Taliban declares war is over in Afghanistan. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today's Monday, the 16th of August 2021. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, following a meeting with government officials on Saturday, the Chamber of Industry and Commerce has offered suggestions to help revive the economy as the country battles the spread of COVID-19. A statement issued on the weekend said, quote, "The Chamber recognizes the pain and suffering of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis due to the loss of the vibrant cruise industry. Without and until there is development and delivery of a new national strategy for long-term economic diversification, it's in the Federation's best interest to protect and restart this pillar industry and empower our people to provide for their families once again." End quote. In the statement, the Chamber urged the government to consider deciding a balanced and practical position on the acceptance of rapid antigen testing for vaccinated cruise passengers, as numerous neighbors in the region have, increasing the capacity of our healthcare system and generally appropriately resource the country to sustain increased mitigated health risks in this COVID-19 climate, providing soft loan facilities for affected registered small to medium enterprises with a minimal interest rate and reasonable repayment moratorium, taking a stronger stance on vaccination requirements within the public sector to achieve herd immunity and protect our country. The statement continued, quote, "We must learn to adapt and coexist in this new environment and reality as many other tourism destinations are doing. The economy is not in a position to withstand the loss of a second consecutive tourism high season. The government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis have invested far too much in the cruise sector's development to allow it to perish amidst the reopening of this sector in neighboring territories, who we are allowing to become our main competitors and eroding all of our gains in this sector over the last 20 years. End quote. The travel ban on incoming travelers from the United Kingdom to St. Kitts and Nevis will be lifted on the 1st of September. That's according to Abdias Samuel, chairman of the National COVID-19 Task Force, in a recent announcement. In response to the emergent COVID-19 pandemic and its variants, the Federation has been issuing travel bans to dissuade travelers from specific countries. The latest travel advisory was issued on the 20th of July for the United Kingdom, South Africa, Brazil, and India, which was extended until the 31st of August. Health authorities continue to be concerned about the importation of the highly transmissible Delta variant, but continue to move towards herd immunity with its vaccination program. Following the start of the roll-up to roll-out vaccination campaign in February, more than 70% of the adult population have received a first jab of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, while more than 60% have had a second dose to date. Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, the medical chief of staff at the Joseph N. France General Hospital, said the high rate of vaccination within St. Kitts and Nevis was a factor in the decision to lift the travel advisory for the UK at this time. Meanwhile, Dr. Hazel Laws, the chief medical officer, added that the pandemic remains very fluid, and in time, other advisories will be lifted or issued based on the global developments and the local situation on the ground. Discussions with British Airways Management Group in the Caribbean will begin shortly to facilitate the return of the weekly service to St. Kitts, the officials said. In other news, on the 75th occasion of the celebration of the independence of India from Britain's rule, Prime Minister Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris issued congratulatory remarks to the Prime Minister and people of India with whom St. Kitts and Nevis shares bilateral relations. India gained independence on the 15th of August 1947, and on Sunday, Prime Minister Harris made this statement.
Prime Minister Modi, on the 74th anniversary or 75th year of your country's independence, I relay hearty congratulations from the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis to the government and people of the Republic of India. Achieving successful self-rule for 3/4 of a century and becoming the world's largest democracy cannot be minimized, particularly in the face of the many challenges which serve to undermine the incremental steps advanced to date toward attaining the ultimate aim of development.
Prime Minister Harris placed on record his gratitude to India for their donation of COVID-19 vaccines to aid in curbing its spread.
Your show of solidarity and benevolence during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic is commendable. St. Kitts and Nevis remains forever grateful for your generous contribution of 20,000 doses of the Covishield Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. India's contribution in the fight against COVID-19 will be recorded in the annals of our history and will long be appreciated by the beneficiaries. Your show of solidarity.
India celebrates its 75th anniversary of independence under the theme Nation First, Always First. It's usually marked with flag hoistings, parades, fireworks, singing of patriotic songs, as well as the national anthem and speeches by the President and Prime Minister. This year, the parade at Red Fort, New Delhi, which usually sees more than 25,000 guests, was only attended by COVID warriors, Olympians, and sportspersons, government officials, as well as media personnel. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin also unveiled the 75th Indian Independence Memorial Pillar to mark the occasion, the Indian Express reported. Women farmers also led the Tiranga Tractor Parade, among other celebratory events. We now move to news on the regional scene. Rescue efforts continue in the rural town of Les Cayes on the western side of Haiti as survivors of Saturday's deadly quake search for missing loved ones in a race against time as Tropical Depression Grace passes by. The death toll is now more than 1,200 and climbing. ABC News with this developing story.
Tonight in western Haiti, the desperate search underway after Saturday morning's earthquake reduced many buildings to rubble, trapping an untold number of people beneath. At least 1,297 people are now dead, and the wound of an entire nation has once again been torn open, and with hundreds more still missing, it's a race against time.
Saturday's 7.2 quake was even more powerful than that devastating earthquake that killed more than 250,000 people here in Haiti. Now, this quake struck in a much more rural area, but the roads to get there are now nearly impassable. There's tangled debris on the roadways, and there are gangs roaming those roadways, allegedly hijacking aid convoys.
Still, foreign rescue teams flooding in to provide aid.
Logistics getting to this area are extremely challenging and dangerous at times. So we're really working and hoping for safe passage for humanitarians is guaranteed.
Makeshift hospitals being formed in the open air. Mark Donald and his family have been using their personal van as an ambulance to help rescue residents.
The hospital has been really packed, and we've been taking people from the airport coming from Port-au-Prince. We can't even count how many people we've been helping.
And from the ruins, there have been moments of hope and anguish. Hours after the quake, a woman and child pulled from the rubble alive. But as night fell, this mother, Oxaline Merency, overtaken with grief. The body of her 7-year-old daughter, Esther Danielle, recovered. More than 3,500 homes destroyed, many now living out of makeshift tents. And the earthquake has placed further strain on the nation's already strapped resources.
We don't have electricity for now. We don't have water.
Phone lines are also down. This Haitian community in Columbus, Ohio, trying to reach their loved ones.
I have my sister, my cousin, my brother, my uncle, and I really worry because I don't know if they're alive or what happened to them.
Lindsay, the people waiting here are the injured waiting for transport to Port-au-Prince. And it seems that Haiti can't catch a break. Its president was assassinated last month. There is COVID here, and now a tropical depression is bearing down on the region.
Internationally, the Taliban declared the war in Afghanistan was over after they took control of the presidential palace in Kabul. More in this Reuters report.
The Taliban declared the war in Afghanistan was over on Monday after they took control of the presidential palace in the capital, Kabul. In a video released from the Taliban in an unidentified location, Deputy Leader Mullah Baradar Akhund made their address.
We congratulate the great victory to the whole Afghan nation, especially to the people of Kabul and to our mujahideens. The way we have come through was unexpected, as we have reached the position which was never expected. But with the help of Allah, that He has given us the victory, and there is nothing like this in history of the world, so we should thank Allah.
It has taken the Taliban just over a week to seize control of the country after a lightning sweep that ended in Kabul. Afghan forces, trained for years and equipped by the US at a cost of billions of dollars, faded away. On Sunday, President Ashraf Ghani fled the country, saying he wanted to avoid bloodshed. Hundreds of Afghans flooded Kabul's airport in the dark, desperate to leave on one of the last commercial flights before US forces took over air traffic control. On Monday, US officials said troops fired in the air to prevent hundreds of civilians from running on the tarmac. A Taliban leader told Reuters that the insurgents were regrouping in different provinces and would wait until foreign forces had left the country before creating a new governance structure. The leader, who requested to be anonymous, said Taliban fighters had been, quote, ordered to allow Afghans to resume daily activities and do nothing to scare civilians. Many Afghans fear the Taliban will return to past harsh practices, imposing Sharia or Islamic religious law. During their rule from 1996 to 2001, women could not work, and punishments included stoning and hanging. The Taliban appears to be trying to project a moderate image in statements and to media outlets. A spokesman told the BBC that women will have access to education and work. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden has faced rising domestic criticism after sticking to his predecessor Donald Trump's plan to end America's longest war, launched 2 decades ago. The US ferried embassy staff out by helicopters on Sunday, and the US Pentagon authorized another 1,000 troops to help evacuate US citizens and Afghans who worked for them.
And now for the weather. Present weather shows cloudy skies. Winds are a moderate breeze of 16 miles per hour from the east-northeast. The temperature is 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are moderate with waves of 3 to 5 feet. As Tropical Depression Grace continues to move further away from the region, the Atlantic high pressure will regain dominance across the area. A gradual drying out of the atmosphere will continue over the next 24 hours, resulting in settled weather conditions. The weather for today will be fair to partly cloudy with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Tonight will also be fair to partly cloudy with a 10% or slight chance of showers. Sunset today will be at 6:36 p.m., sunrise tomorrow at 5:54 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason Davis.